Good evening, everybody. This is Uththra, joining you from Full House Entertainment. Today, we're going to be talking with a very, very young and dynamic educationalist. Meet Sujata Vijay today on our live. This is our second live session. So, we're going to be talking with Sujata Vijay, director of Bamboola Preschool and Daycare. It's located in Chennai, and they are one of the most successful and top ranked play schools. They are ranked 7th nationwide, and they are always been ranking in the top 3 over the last several years in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, wherever you take it. And Sujata has vast experience in teaching. She conducts storytelling. She's a puppeteer. She's a consultant to several schools. She consults for school on setting up daycare, how to run preschools, and she teaches live classes online. She does e-learning for children. And her specialty is dealing with really young children who go to preschool and daycare. And in today's day of COVID taken over all everybody's normal lives, where homeschooling and e-learning has become a new trend in India and in several parts of the world. We are going to be talking to Sujata to understand how it has impacted the education industry, how it has impacted learning for children, how is their mental wellness now not coming to school? Are kids enjoying it? Are they feeling bored? Do they want to come back to school? What is their general feedback? And how do parents deal with the whole thing when they have really small children at home? Sometimes it gets difficult for parents to handle the children and work at the same time, especially given that everybody is now doing work from home. So we are going to be talking to Sujata to understand all these things over the last few months, how things have changed for them, and understand what is the way forward. She's going to be giving a lot of advices and tips for parents, how to keep the kids engaged, and for the children. And let's talk to her. Welcome, Sujata. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Uththra. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, Sujata. I know I gave you a very short notice, but it was really nice of you to join us in such a short period. Can you tell us a little about Bamboula? Can you please talk more about what Bamboula does?
Sure. So Bamboula basically means indoor fun. So when we initially started it, it was supposed to be a place where mothers and children could come in and interact with one another and just play and have a good time. But when we started it 17 years ago, there was this huge demand for quality play school. There were dime a dozen creaches, as you call it, just down the road. Anybody who had a little space would open up a creche. But then there was no structured play school, no structured after school program. So we saw the need for that at that time, and we started Bamboula, where we introduced the play school concept, the pre-KG, then a daycare facility, and then the after school program. So we were one of the pioneers to bring in this program called an after school program, where we go pick up children from different schools, bring them in and keep them engaged till 7 o'clock. So working parents know that the children are safe in one place, and instead of running to multiple places, they have all the activities under one roof. So that's basically what Bamboula does. And so, yeah, here we are.
That's really nice. 17 years is a very, very long time. And like you rightly said, we've heard the word crush or creech or all these things for a long time. But for India, talking about 17 years back, where you introduced a daycare, the concept which was not known or prevalent back then, I think you've brought something new to Chennai or to the Indian scene. So congratulations to that. I think you're one of the pioneers in starting daycares in Chennai.
So to structuring the daycare and after school, it did take us a while because parents are so used to having nannies or grandparents take care of the children. So yes, it did take us a little while to break in, but now we have come a long way, and now there's a quality daycare is definitely in demand.
I can say that because you've always been in the top 3 and nationwide as ranked as the 7th school. So there's no second thoughts to that. I'm sure you're doing really great. And tell us about how you keep the kids engaged in Bamboula. How does the structured form of preschooling work compared to the regular creche or crush that
Right.
kids go to?
So we basically have a structured curriculum. So, the children, the age group that we are dealing with are very, very young children. They're between the ages of 1.5 to 2.5, which is the play school. 2.5 to 3.5 is the pre-KG. So the age group that we are dealing with are very, very young children. So it's very, very important to keep them engaged. And there is no way that you can do anything for like half an hour or 40 minutes. So we make sure all our programs are not more than 20 minutes. So the children come in at 9:30. We have a welcome circle time. Then we have activity time. Then we have our snacks. So we ensure that nothing lasts more than 20 minutes because that is the attention span of a 1.5 or a 2.5-year-old. So we have a lot of structure in place. So when they say play school, what do kids do in play school? They go play. I mean, that's not how it works. There is a lot of structure which goes into it. There is a lot of curriculum that is actually being followed. So we don't expect the children to sit in one place. So we bring in a lot of playway methodology. We don't expect a child to see a flashcard and say, this is Apple. What we do here is more on hands-on. So we actually create a market, give them a shopping bag and go buy a banana and come. So when they're actually going and touching the different fruits, feeling it, and then they understand the concept a whole lot better rather than showing them cards or books and saying this is apple, this is banana. So we definitely believe in a lot of hands-on activities, which is called the playway methodology. So that's how the play school and pre-KG works. And then for the working parents, we have the daycare where they provide the lunch. We take it out, we reheat it, we feed the children. They take a nap for a couple of hours if they want to. Otherwise, we have a library room, they can go do some reading. And then in the evening, we have a program called After School, where we have all the activities under one roof. Basically, they can choose from anything from music to theater to football to sports. So we offer everything under one roof. So
Wow.
parents don't need to run around for different activities. I remember when I was in school, my mother used to take me to party class, then to drawing class, then to dance class. So she used to be, the chauffeur driving me around. Now
Juggling between several places.
Exactly. Soccer moms, as they're called. So right now we are offering everything under one roof. So Bamboula is basically a one-stop for all children's activities.
Wow. So coming to the much hyped and today's topic, COVID. Tell us, I mean, do you miss kids? You've probably shut school for about 1.5 months, just like everybody else is shut now before the lockdown. So tell us about, do you miss kids? Do the kids miss you? How do the parents react? What is happening there?
It's such a difficult time for everybody. I mean, all of us are going through different difficulties. Some of us initially we were all very excited about it, it's like an extended weekend, but now it's like
Vacation. Yeah, we were all thinking, wow, much deserved vacation or whatever. We've
now
not
it's
been having a
everything
vacation in a long time.
we don't seem to know when this is going to end. The anxiety is building up, especially moms, working from home moms. I see they are really getting anxious, and some of them are even going into depression because they're not able to handle all this load all together. But as far as we are concerned, Bamboula, we closed March 20th, and we missed the children terribly, so bad, because usually at the end of the year we have our graduation day. So we do a little book where we collect the pictures of throughout the year, all the activities that they've done. So we make a little collage for them, nice little book that we give, and we have all the kids wear their graduation robe, and each kid gets a little certificate. And we had to miss out on that. So it was such a sad thing because the parents look forward to it, and for us it's like a little goodbye ceremony because they graduate from us and go to a regular mainstream school. So we couldn't have that event first time in the last 17 years. So we were very upset about that.
Right.
And the children are, again, like initially the kids were like, oh, we're at home, we're having a great time. And then after the fourth or the fifth day, they were like, why are we going to Bamboula? Not when you take me to Bamboula, I need to go see my teacher or I need to go see my friend. And so parents are sending us videos and voice notes saying, my child is missing going to Bamboula. He wants me to sing this song. Can you sing this song for me so I can teach him? So parents are missing us a lot. Children are missing us a lot. And I think it's definitely something, the whole routine routine has just taken a beating, and the children are also kind of not understanding it, but they are feeling left out, and we miss them terribly.
Right, right. Yeah, I know about the graduation. I'm sure this year, all the kids that's graduating across the world, I think
We were
whoever's
talking about
graduated.
numbers. I can imagine the children in college and, 12th standard,
Yeah.
10th standard children, and I can just imagine what they are going through, and it's such a difficult time for everybody.
Right. So tell us, I mean, I've been following you a lot on the social media pages, and I do see that you have been doing a lot of fun activities for children during this lockdown period, and you've been trying to do a lot of homeschooling, e-learning. Do they really work for such young children, the e-learning thing? I mean, is it effective? Are you able to do something to keep them engaged during this lockdown period?
So we have been trying to conduct e-learning program with the mothers. It's a mommy and me program that we are doing because of the age group of children that we are doing it with.
Okay.
Obviously, they're older. They can sit in front of the computer and they can work on their own. But because of the age group that we're dealing with, children as young as 2 years and 3 years, they cannot sit in front of the computer and do it by themselves. So we have a program called a Parent and Me or a Mommy and Me program that we are running. So we run through the curriculum where we have introduced them with some songs, some action songs, some nursery rhymes, and then we do an activity together with the mothers. So we send out messages to the mothers saying keep all these ready for tomorrow. So the parents actually keep all that ready, and the next day the teachers conduct the class. So the children are also feeling like they're getting to see their teachers, and the mothers are also getting 20 minutes to do a nice bonding session with the children. 20 to 30 minutes maximum is what they're able to. At home, they get so diverted because they are in their space. So anything more than 30 minutes is not working. We initially tried to do the regular school hours, which is a good 2-hour program, 2.5 hours, but it didn't work. So we had to cut it short. And now we've got a 30-minute crisp program, which the children are absolutely enjoying, and so are the parents.
Nice. On that note, I am going to share a few of the artistic stuff that the kids at Bamboula have done through this e-learning. Are you able to see it on screen, Sujata? I'm just sharing my screen.
Yes, I am. Yes.
So how do you teach kids through e-learning to do all these things? They have done a little bit of, they've used toothpicks in this picture. They've done some pasting using some papers, and I can see a lot of effort has gone in from the child in doing this. So
simple activities that parents can do at home. There are, right from your sock can become a little puppet. So we are trying to ensure that the parents don't need to go out to buy anything. Obviously they can't. So we're trying to use supplies that they have at home. This is rice. So we just ask them to draw something, and the child gets to patiently stick rice. The previous one was bit paper pasting. So they tear up different pieces of paper and they glue it on. And in this way, we did the color week where we talked about the red color and the green color. And so we're introducing colors. This is for fine motor skill, where they're trying to pick out the different seeds and the different pulses and paste it on. We did activities with fruits where they did stamping to make different shapes. So a lot of activities which can be done using household things that are available at home, and parents don't need to go out looking for it. We asked them to mix food color and make different colors, and so the children were introduced to green and yellow and blue. So it was multiple activities. Not only were they doing a craft, but they were also learning about colors. So
right. This is my favorite of all. When you send them to me, this is my favorite. Such a pretty work.
We were introducing touch and feel. So this was the soft, and so they did cotton, and then we had the parents, whoever had access to coconut bark or something there. For that they used, and they said this is rough and this is soft, and the kids were going around touching everything at home and saying soft and rough, and so things that you can just do at home, and the children were really enjoying these activities. And it also gave the parents some time to relax themselves, because I see a lot of mothers are complaining to us saying, it's just so stressful that suddenly there's just too much much workload, and they are cooking, they're cleaning, they are doing activities with the child, and they're working at the end of the day. So this 20 minutes not only calmed the child down, it was really helping the mothers also calm down and just
Right.
spend time with it. And when the teacher is giving the instruction, the children are definitely responding far better than when the mother is giving the instruction. So when the teacher is saying, okay, stand up, touch your toes, move right, move left, we see the children are definitely corresponding a whole lot better than when the mother does the activity. So it's becoming a lot of fun. But the children definitely miss the interaction, especially in that age group, the 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 year olds. They learn a whole lot better when they are interacting with each other, when they can, they learn to take turns, they learn to, wait for their turn, they learn to do their activities together, work in groups. All of this happens only when there's a one-on-one interaction, or when they are interacting with children in whole. So being at home, they do this for 20 minutes, they get back to their whole thing, they're throwing their toys around, the mothers are back to their whole thing. So I
Right.
don't think this is a long-term solution, but definitely it is fun for now. This is something that the children are enjoying, and the parents are also enjoying, knowing or hoping that there is an end and children will go back to school. It's
True.
the feedback that we have been getting from parents.
Right. And how are the children taking this lockdown now? How are they reacting to not coming to the school? How are they reacting not coming to Bamboula? Because a vacation is good for a few days or a few weeks, but then knowing that it's we don't know when we are going to open back, and beyond the point, it's difficult to control children's boredom, and yet they're not allowed to go to parks, they're not allowed to go to any of these entertainment areas. So how is their mental condition right now? How are the kids behaving?
So Bamboula is, luckily, we are one of the largest play schools in Chennai. We're spread across close to 17,000 square feet. And so we have three large play areas. And children basically love coming here primarily because we give them a lot of playtime. We emphasize on a lot of playtime. So when they come in, they're given a good half an hour to run, play, take turns, work in groups, lot of activities that they do outside. They even do gardening every day. Every week, they have a day to do gardening activities. So each child at the beginning of the year plants a little plant, and they have to take care of it for the whole year. So they name their plant, they make sure they go water it, they take care of it. So they're so used to that routine. So initially, as I was saying, the first 1 week, they were like, hey, no school. They were very excited. And then I can see every day I'm bombarded with messages from parents who are telling me, you know what, can we just come and play? Can you give us some time slot where we can just bring the children and play? Because some of them are living in apartments, some of them are living in small houses, some of them are living in large houses, but the children are getting bored. How many activities can you do with the child or with the parent? And so they are definitely getting bored. They miss playing outside, they miss all the fun equipment that Bamboula has, and they want to come back to us as soon as possible. So yes,
Right.
we are looking forward to having them back as well.
Again, on that note, I'm going to share an audio clip. I'm not sure if it's going to get played, whether people are going to be able to hear it on Facebook Live, but I'm just going to try. And people watching on Facebook, if you could let us know if you're able to hear it. Sujata, are you able to hear it?
No, I'm not.
Okay, then I don't think people on Facebook would be able to hear either, because I'm not sure about the technology of how the audio streaming and video streaming happens on Zoom. I should learn, but I did hear those audio clips, and I watched those videos that you sent, and I was feeling really bad when kids are saying, "I want to go to Bamboula. I'm missing Bamboula. Take me to school," and all
I know
that. So
there was one child who was like, he's trying to convince his mom. He's actually telling her, my teacher's calling me. He's got this pretend phone, and he's telling his mother, my teacher is calling me. I need to go to school now. And the mother's like, yeah, okay, we'll go. They're not able to understand the lockdown concept. So they're like, okay, can we go today? Every day morning, it's the same question. And so it's definitely difficult for the mothers and the children as well.
okay, so what are you planning to do in case if the lockdown is going to get extended? Right now it's up to May 17th in Tamil Nadu and sorry, in India. So if it's going to get extended beyond, and normally you open the school back in June after the summer holidays, and if at all it's going to get extended beyond that, which we hear that schools and universities might be opened only by August or end of July or something like that. What are your plans? How are you planning to introduce more? I mean, I was seeing a video where you had done recently about some activities for children, and tell us about that. I mean, how do you?
Yes. So right now we are doing the 20-minute classes. We do want to extend it a little further, but we are trying to see how the mothers can leave the child with us and do their own chores, which is getting very difficult because once a child is at home, to get the child to have the attention towards just the screen and not go around is difficult for that age group. I'm sure once they are into mainstream school, once they are into fourth, fifth standard and above, it's very easy for, or rather relatively easier to get them to sit in one place and do an activity. But this age group is so tricky that unless a parent is participating in the activity at home, it's very difficult. So we want to ideally try to extend the activities, but without the parental connect, we are not able to do it. So, but we are planning to introduce a lot of new activities for the family to do together, try to get it to become very interactive. We are giving a lot of homework. So parents are also like, okay, this is something different to the regular chores. So parents are being very cooperative about the whole thing. They are looking forward to the activity. So if I'm late to send out the message for the next day's activity, they're messaging me saying, did you forget? What are we doing tomorrow? So the parents are also excited. But I think they're all in the hope that, this ends in May, and from June 15th, worst case scenario, we do get back. So we are, looking forward to, get back and on track by June 15th. But it is going to be tricky because especially with children so prone to colds and cough, we don't know what to expect. We're just keeping our fingers crossed and see how it goes.
Okay. Having talked about young children and daycare and all that, as an educationalist, I'm sure you must be interacting with a lot of teachers and people who run colleges and schools and all that. How is the general scenario outside? What is the general view from the teaching side, from the schools and colleges? How do they see, even for children? I mean, I'm talking about bigger children and people who go to university and all that. What is the general talk in the education industry about this whole lockdown? How do they plan to make up for it, and where is this going in terms of kids education this year?
So they definitely, most of them have given the whole of May off, but they plan to start online classes from June and maybe get back to work from maybe July. But colleges are planning to, or rather may start only by the second semester, because a lot of children come from different states also, and then you have the hostel and all of that. So I don't think they're looking at June. Definitely they are looking probably in the second semester. But I've been talking to a lot of students who are in 10th standard and 12th standard, and I have last few exams pending, and 10th who are just going to 10th standard now. They start their online classes at 8 a.m. and goes on till 3. So it's literally
Wow.
full day school, regular school time. So children are getting, they are just sitting in front of the computer all day. They have a break between every 1.5 hours. They get, I think, a 15-minute break and then get back to another class. And then tuition teachers are also doing it online. So the child is in front of a screen for 7, 8 hours, 9 hours a day, which is,
Wow.
yeah, I'm like, and these are children going to 10th standard next year. And so a lot of parents have told us that the children are getting very agitated, and this on off, taking that 15-minute off and then getting back onto track, the children are losing interest. And they were able to do it for maybe once a week, twice a week, but when it comes to 5 times a week over and over again, they are not able to handle it. But the teachers are also like, we have portions to complete and we need to do this, and so they're trying to do their job, but the children are feeling overburdened. And even for the teacher, she has to get her curriculum, she's at home. So it's like a working mom. It's like she is stressed because she's inside her room, something is happening right outside and she's being called, but she has to focus her energy here. So looking at it from both their point of views, it is difficult for both of them. I think we're also used to, this is segregating that this is home time, this is my work time. Now suddenly you're asked to do everything inside one room. Everybody is finding it difficult. So I don't know whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, and children are definitely not taking it as well as we were hoping they would. They don't have a choice right now, so they are adapting to it. But I don't know whether it's a long-term thing that they can do it forever.
I know. I mean, especially when you said, Bamboula has a sprawling space of 17,000 square feet. When you confine them in a 1,000 or 1,500 square feet space and expect them to deliver the same kind of enthusiasm they do when they are outdoors and with their friends, and when they see children of their age next to them doing the same thing, the enthusiasm would be different. But yeah, but then when you mentioned that 10th standard kids, 8th standard kids are doing about 8 to 10 hours of online learning a day, it doesn't seem to be any different from what they would do when they go to a normal school. I mean, when they go to a normal school, it's going to be about 8 hours of learning every day.
How
But
much fun school was. I mean, do you remember how the classroom environment is? And while you're interacting with the teacher, you're not looking at a screen, that you're actually interacting with her. Here, I could put you on mute, or I could stop my video and the child is doing something, and the teacher cannot monitor all 45 children at the same time. It's not the same vibe that you're going to get. And so the children are also looking at a screen for 7 hours a day. And then they finish that and they have the tuition teacher who's going to bombard them with this. I agree, if they were to, in a regular scenario, they would be running from one place to another, but it's still, they get to interact with friends. They have their breaks, they hang out with their friends, they talk with their friends, all of that. Now all of that has come to a stop. They're just in one room, the AC is running or not, they're just sitting in one room and they have their screen, that's it. And so they are definitely not enjoying it, and the children are getting frustrated with the whole setup.
actually, I recently heard someone whom I know personally tell me that, when I asked, how is your son taking these online classes? I mean, is he able to sit? Oh, who does that? He just turns it on. He just puts the mute thing on mute and he does his own stuff. And I was shocked. What is the point? I mean, when the schools are putting so much effort to try and catch up with whatever the kid has lost, and it again narrows down to parents.
Yeah.
So let's talk about parents. How are parents taking the whole thing? How is this lockdown worked with parents, especially the working parents? How do they balance? Because when they are actually working, or even if they were doing work from home earlier, they used to send the kids to school and they used to be sitting peacefully at home and working, or go to work. But now when everybody is confined into the same space, how are parents taking it? How is their mental
So
frame?
Bamboula has a child psychologist who is part of our, we have a child psychiatrist at school 24/7 during our working days. So we have had a lot of parents call her back to back asking for advice on what to do. So all this, this quarantine has just brought a lot of pressure on the parents, and especially the mothers. They suddenly seem to be taking on too much load, and they have stopped prioritizing themselves. I mean, before, at least they used to get a few hours off, so they used to go out, either go to work or get time for themselves. Now suddenly they seem to be overloading themselves, and they have stopped even looking at themselves. Now they're just focusing all their energy on cleaning the house and taking care of the family and all of that. They've forgotten to do that. So my personal advice to all mothers out there is, at the end of the day, unless you are healthy both physically and mentally, you're not going to be able to deliver the best for your family. So it is so important to prioritize yourself. So even if that means waking up that half an hour earlier, please go ahead and do that and give yourself that time. It could be anything as simple as yoga, meditation, just some breathing, or just a simple walk in your terrace or somewhere. Just that half an hour for yourself is so crucial, because I have parents who are like, oh, I need to 5 o'clock, I need to do this, 5:30, I need to do this. And where is your time? I mean, you really are putting yourself in that back seat, which is not healthy for anybody. So my first advice to mothers would be to make time for yourself and prioritize yourself first. And the second is to be organized. I mean, Unlike before, where you could always say, I'll do this later, now is a time where, it's full house and you're doing a lot more of things by yourself. You're the laundryman, you're doing your mopping, you're cleaning, you're cooking, everything is done by you. So it's very, very important to be organized and, kind of figure out what's going to do and when you're going to do it and how you're going to do it. And you don't have to mop every day. I mean, it's fine. So do it every other day and don't take on too much workload. I see everybody who's like, I have to do everything. I have to. Why do you have to? The biggest thing is not able to delegate. I see a lot of mothers saying, I have to do it. No, you don't. You know what? It's okay to say, I can't do this or I need help. There is nothing wrong with that. So it's absolutely fine to ask for help. Again, I see a lot of mothers who are getting extra stressed because they think that they have to prove a point. You're not trying to prove any point here. So it's
Right.
fine to delegate and ask for help. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And with children, you can actually do things together. So I mean, if you're going to make a meal, ask your child to be around. The child can easily sit with you, prepare the meal together. It could be a simple salad, or they love when you're making your chapatis, just give them some dough, they can do it by themselves. When you're doing your vegetables, have them sort out the vegetables. Here they're learning. So when you have your fruit, your vegetables, ask them to sort out all the apples together, all the carrots together. So by this, they're learning to segregate, they're learning the colors, they're feeling the different textures. When they're seeing it, you can talk about colors. You can say, oh, where is the green capsicum, or where is the orange carrot? You can talk about colors when you're doing it as well. You can make it into a fun activity. Folding clothes can become an activity. You're having them, so you're working on that eye hand coordination as well when you're doing activities. When they are mopping, children love water. We all know they love water, so get them to help you when you're mopping the house. So everything can be made into a fun activity if you want to. You don't have to take it upon yourself to do everything on your own. It is absolutely fine to delegate and keep the whole family involved in the whole thing, including children. Children need to be part of everyday activity so that they also know and they start enjoying it. It's not a burden for them at all. And most importantly, now that they have access to internet, parental lock on the thing is so important.
Right.
Because you are not monitoring them 24/7, because you are probably in the kitchen cooking, and the child is browsing and things are popping up everywhere, and it's so easy for them to access data that they shouldn't be seeing. So make sure you have parental lock installed, and have a routine for them as well. And so you could enroll them. For now, there are so many online classes which are available depending on their age group. Pick a class and have them do an online class, structured class, which they are enjoying. It doesn't necessarily have to be education. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that the school is doing. Give them a breather. If they like dancing, there are so many dance classes available. So whatever they like, give them that time off so that they can explore and continue to learn newer activities. So the younger children, I found, when you give them a reward at the end of it, so if they are able to, if you put away your toys by yourself, I'm going to let you watch TV for 5 minutes, and the child is immediately putting away his toys. So reward them with a couple of activities, and this is working out great. So it is very important to get the whole family involved and work together, and we will get through the whole thing.
Yeah, that was my next question to you, because we've been talking a lot about mothers. Because normally it's known, majority, that moms handle the children, and they sit a lot with the kids doing all these activities and all these kitchen activities and mopping and all that. So uh, during this COVID, we see a lot of people during this lockdown come out and admit that I'm starting to get depressed, and even though they are with the family, this is a time that nobody would have imagined they would ever get in their lives. Spending about 1.5 2 months under one roof just with your family and not able to go out and meet anybody or do anything else is something that in a lifetime, in today's age and time, a lot of us wouldn't have imagined getting such a time. And we see that a lot of people have started coming out complaining. They're saying, I'm no longer able to take it, this is it. Or we see a lot of men coming out and admitting, it's too much on me, it's getting depressing. So how do you think and that is definitely going to have an effect on the kids in the family when parents are going to start talking about not feeling mentally okay, starting to get depressed, or they could have financial issues because a lot of them are losing their jobs and things like that. So how as a family do you think they should act in front of those children in these times, so that when they come back to school or when normalcy restores, their family still stays intact and they probably don't end up killing each other?
Which is,
What?
I mean, I have always believed that as parents, we are setting a huge example for the children. So the children are, and the children learn best is by seeing and repeating what they are seeing. So they are going to, replicate and do as you do. So it is so important that as parents, you stay calm and you do talk to your children about it. I'm not asking you to hide your problems and make them feel that everything is fine. Be honest about it and treat them like adults, treat them like an individual, and tell them if there is a problem. But at the same time, don't lose your cool. It is so important to set the right example for your child. And so even if it's simple argument, it is very important to keep the children away from it, and not fool them. Definitely, I'm not saying cover up and pretend like everything is fine, but make sure you talk to them, make them understand, be very gentle with them. And because this is going to have a long term effect on the children, so you need to be very clear on how to draw the boundary lines and make sure that the children are in a safe environment, because these growing up years are so crucial for them, and this is going to have a long term impact on their health.
Okay. So before we wind up, a last question to you is, this is off the learning and education topic. You are a well-known fitness enthusiast and a travel enthusiast, and you've been traveling so much. You've done the Mount Everest trek and the Kanchenjunga and all that. So how are you able to stay inside the house, and what is your advice for people like you? Because even me, I'm starting to get tired of this lockdown and having to work from home. Yes, I think I'm done enough resting, and this again is a lot of people are going through irritation, and they're not able to sit at home. So you have been an avid traveler. You work out a lot, and now you have been confined into one space, handling family amidst all these things, with no help, no domestic help, no cook, nothing. So how do you manage the whole thing, and what is your advice for people to stay fit when they come out of the lockdown? How do you think people can be healthy and stay fit? What is your advice to people?
For me, it is my first summer in I don't know how many years that I'm in Chennai. Because I've been traveling every April and May. So because I run the school, I'm pretty much here, March through April, I'm in Chennai. I travel April and May. And so this is my first summer here in a very long time. So yes, I do feel very bad. As a matter of fact, I had enrolled for the Mount Olympus trek this year. So I was supposed to be in Greece doing Mount Olympus, and here I am. So it has been difficult. It took me, again, as I was saying, the first couple of weeks was great because I was like finally getting to spend time with my children, and we were all experimenting. Each one was bringing out the best chef in us and all of that. But then after about 10 days, like, oh, we have to do this for more. So it did get to us after the first 2 weeks, I think, was the cutoff mark. But now we've kind of, we're working great as a family. My daughter does the dishes. My son makes dinner. And my husband also pretty much helps around the house. And so we're kind of dividing and ruling right now. So all of us have a chore set, and we're working out pretty well. But that is what I said. It's so important to delegate. So the first 2 weeks, I was like, you know what? I'm superwoman. I can do it all by myself. And I was getting up early and I was doing everything by myself. But then it did get to me, and I was feeling that at the end of the day, I was just so exhausted and I was not enjoying it. I said, this is the time as a family we can bond. So right now, I think we are doing yoga together. My son and I are doing yoga together. my daughter and I are walking together, and that becomes our time to connect. And we are definitely utilizing this time to really bond as a family, and it's working out great. I'm not saying we didn't have our shares of ups and downs. We did. We were at our edges. We were ready to pull our hair out, but we did stop there and kind of connect and say, you know what, we are going to be like this, so let's just make it work. And now we found the balance. It was an up and down, but now we found a very good balance, and things are working out great. For me, it's worked very well because I've maintained my routine. As I am a very early riser, I still wake up at 4 a.m. irrelevant of whether it's lockdown or no lockdown, and I'm in bed at 9:30. So that routine has really played out well. I have friends who are waking up at 10 in the morning or noon and getting up for lunch. That kind of would throw somebody off, and you would kind of mess up your whole routine. For me, it's worked out great that I'm maintaining my routine. I'm up at 4, I have me time till 5, and then I do my workout and then the breakfast. So everything is falling into place, and I'm sane. I think the most important thing is I'm sane. I'm able to hold my act together. So the routine definitely helps. And even with young children, if they have a routine, instead of saying today lunch will be at 1 o'clock, tomorrow it will be at 3, it'll kind of confuse them. So it's so important to have this routine and maintain that routine even during lockdown and even after, because that really puts everything in perspective, and children know that this comes after this and this comes after this. Nap time is after this, shower is then. So, it really makes a big difference when you follow a certain routine. So I think it's worked out well for me, and we'll see how it goes.
Nice. So thank you so much, Sujata. I've been taking about 40 minutes of your time so far. I know it's dinner time for everybody, but once again, your inputs have been really valuable. You've given some really great tips for parents and kids. And let's hope that all of us come out of the situation safely, and all the very best to Bamboula. And could you please share the contacts of Bamboula for those parents who might be interested in enrolling them?
You can just log into www.bamboolachennai.com. It's just bamboolachennai.com, and all the information is out there. You can also log into our Instagram page, and also on Facebook, it's Bamboula. You can log in and see us for more information.
That's great. And I will share the link on the comments in Facebook after the session is over. And thank you once again, and hope to see you soon in another live session.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.